Hello, I'm Rebecca of Orange Korea who tells you everything about Korea. Multiverse. Marvel is not the only one that can make a multiverse. Last time I talked about the story of Korean multiverse Joseon. Let's leave the task of making space here to Marvel and we'll do what each of us is good at. Then, Orange Korea will make a work based on the motive of Tale of Joseon. From now on, if you want, you can all leave this channel except Hollywood producer, writer, and directors. If you watch this channel to the end, we'll get insight into how to extract stories based on tales and legends. Now, let's begin the modern story of Joseon tale. There are two worlds because this story is based on a tale of Joseon. Just remember this. The main character is Patricia Brad. He is nice, warm-hearted, and always humble, and he does his best to make bread. However, he is too much creative in making bread. He likes to add one thing and another while making bread. That's why he's badly treated and has become such a nuisance in the company he works for. People advise him to do only what the company tells him to do, but he cannot do that. He is known as a geek in the company. He falls completely behind in the competition with Arthur, who has a better academic background than him. The Arthur ignores and makes fun of Brad. Brad is not popular with women as well as with female colleagues. Brad cries for love even though he is not popular. Brad, who has no family, dreams of having a family by loving. Friends try to comfort Brad, but at the same time advise him that the reality is a cold world where only the law of the jungle of survival of the fittest works. On the anniversary of his father's death, Brad goes to a memorial park where his father and the twin brother are buried. He finds a woman in sorrow at the memorial park. She is Emma, a Hollywood star. After that, while Brad is volunteering at the nursery, he accidentally meets her again. In fact, Emma has a pain of love. Emma tries to erase the love in herself because she blames herself. In the past, her lover was killed in a car accident, and she thinks it was because of her. Her mother wants to let her know how to love and introduce nice men to her, but it's too hard for Emma, who wants to erase love. Brad, who clearly remembers Emma crying in the memorial park, feels sorry for Emma. The structure of this story is simple. It'll have the story structure of Brad, a man who wants to find love, and Emma, a woman who wants to erase love, and melt the process of finding love into a multiverse. While Brad is volunteering at the nursery, Emma is also with him because of an incident. Brad, who hears Emma's hardship while he is with the children, gives Emma a surprise cake as a gift. After a few days, Emma leaves the nursery. Before Emma leaves, Brad said to Emma that the process of erasing love may be the process of finding love. Brad keeps thinking of Emma in his dreams and in reality. He consults with the abbess, but he cannot get clear answer. Also in the company, he is faced with the ordeal by Arthur in the Christmas bake event. Tired of work and love, Brad cries and prays in the church chapel. Brad complains from the early death of his parents to the current reality that he wants to make a family, but no one likes him. While crying and praying, Brad falls asleep. Brad awakes at a hotel. Next to him, a woman he has never seen before is lying naked. Brad is embarrassed. He is puzzled as to what this is about. As he hurries to get dressed and leave the hotel, the naked woman pulls Brad's hand, and she said something mysterious. "I've done this much. You have to cast me." The world he sees after leaving the hotel in a hurry is a different world. It is LA, which is definitely right, but isn't the city he knows. All of his friends have different jobs and have different lives. There was no 911 in this world. Even the president is a different person. By appearance, Brad is apparently who he is, but he is not a Parisian, but a really famous Hollywood film and drama producer. Even Brad's father is alive. Brad goes to a nursery where he volunteered and meets Emma there. Emma regularly visits the nursery where she grew up and does volunteer work. Emma's popularity with children is the best. Emma is a would-be actress, but she rarely gets a chance. When she meets Brad at the nursery, she gets mad at him. Brad doesn't know why, but one by one he keeps track of his record. In this world, Brad is never a good man. While tracking the record, he finds out that he asked Emma for sexual favor. Brad is so surprised that he visits Emma and apologizes. And in another world where he came from, Emma was the best actress. Of course, Emma doesn't believe it. He does volunteer work like Emma did at the nursery. Brad, who became close to the nursery children after a series of incidents, is forgiven by Emma. And he listens to Emma's worries. She wants to see her mother, who probably abandoned her or lost her. Brad promised to find her mother. Emma has an audition without Brad's help, and she passed the audition. In the process of finding Emma's mother, Brad spends time with Emma and falls in love. Emma slowly becomes a star actress. Brad's good deeds continue in the workplace, but people doubt what he's doing. Then one day, detective comes to Brad's office. They talk about the death of a would-be actress. Brad thinks he has little to do with it. However, while searching for Emma's mother, he finds out that the would-be actress was Emma's half-sister. Brad keeps track of all misdeeds he doesn't know about, and he investigates every record and tracks down the CCTV. Brad becomes increasingly anxious about what he has done. Meanwhile, Emma and Brad's scandal breaks out. Then bad articles about Brad begin to spread all over the media. Meanwhile, Brad finds he is related to Emma's half-sister's death. Also, while searching for past records, he realized that in this world, he is not Brad, but Brad's twin brother Alex, who already died in another world. In that world, where Brad originally lived, Brad survived alone in the family from a fire incident in the past. But in this world, his father and Alex survived from the fire. But in the fire incident, Brad and Alex were an identical twin with the same face, and that day they accidentally changed their clothes with a name tag. So his father misunderstood the child who died that day as Alex. That's why the real living person is Alex, but he's been living under the name of Brad. In that world, Brad is right, and now in this world, Alex with the name of Brad is right. Brad is also frustrated because he doesn't know why he came into his brother's body. Anyway, even though Brad doesn't remember, he cries at Emma's half-sister's grave and asks for forgiveness. The media is starting to mention Brad about the murder of Emma's half-sister, and Brad denies the scandal with Emma because he's afraid she's likely to be harmed by his negative image. And in the press conference, he confesses he's the one who's been bothering Emma. He announced to the world that she didn't do anything wrong, and he will go to the police station right away and turn himself in. Emma, who can't believe all this, finds evidence that her half-sister's death had nothing to do with Brad at her half-sister's house. She calls Brad in tears, but he's already driving to the police station. On his way to the police station, the moment he sees a ringing cell phone, his car hits a very large truck and flips over. Brad, breathing on the floor of the road, slowly closes his eyes. Brad opens his eyes. It's a church chapel. Brad is alone. Brad goes to a grave where Emma's half-sister was buried. But it wasn't Emma's half-sister, but Emma's lover's grave, who died in a car accident. Brad meets Emma again there, and Brad tells Emma not to be afraid of love, and that the love she feels is not full love. Shortly after, in a Christmas special, Emma talks about Brad's cake and tells the story he told. The story is that the process of erasing love becomes the process of finding love. Emma said that she'll not have the love that she is afraid of anymore. Brad watching the show blankly, and he gets a text message from Emma.
Brad, what are you doing on Christmas?
That's it. This story is a pure creative work by Orin Korea. If you are interested, please contact us. This story is about adding modern flesh to a skeleton of a Korean folktale. Clean up quickly again. Here are a woman who wants to erase love and a man who wants to find love. A man who wants to find love by chance goes to a completely different world from his own, Of course, he doesn't have any memory there. He met the woman who tried to erase the love there, and the man tracked the murder that happened before he came. He is a better person now than he thought. By the time he solved the clue, he is a car accident and returned to a world where he originally lived. Then again, he runs into a woman who tries to erase love, and they share the process of erasing love and fall in love with each other. Now, only Marvel has a multiverse. Just as there are Lokis for each situation, Spider-Man for each situation, there are two Joshins in Korean folktale, and there are also Brad and Emma in modern adaptation. There must be a multiverse of yours. I personally lost my family too, but in some place in the universe, I clearly feel that my lost family is alive. Are you frustrated by running into wall of reality? Take heart. The whole universe will cheer for you according to your choice now. Please, this week's lottery winner is Rebecca of Orin Korea here in this world. Subscription and alarm settings are love. Please flex like it. It's over now.